Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Come and say hello, Lily. She's just had a brush. Hey, she's just had a brush, little love. She doesn't like brush. She doesn't like being brushed too much, do you, love? She can only take so much. Enough. Yes, well, you shouldn't have dreadlocks then, should you, love? And one way is because of the conversation we're going to have today. Non-judgment, knee-jerk reactions, pointing fingers, opinions. If for any reason you can't hear this conversation because the wind is too loud, let me know and I shall figure out a way to go somewhere else, maybe inside. How are you all doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Mango Farm. Predominantly, I like to say that word, I am down at Banana Kitchen. Most of the time I'm down at Banana Kitchen in the bottom of Mijas, where our academy is. Do you know, on a side note, I had this inspiration. You always get inspiration when you're feeling good, right? You never get inspiration when you're feeling bad, when you're feeling ill, sick, or angry. Never. Why is that? Think about it. So if you want inspiration, if you want miracles, if you want those moments where you look back on your life and say, wow, you know, well, you're going to have to clear the negativity, the fear. So that really leads us on to a great place right now. And that is the conversation of judgment and knee-jerk reaction. So I often use my own life stories moment by moment to be able to give me the confirmation that I need to share at that particular divine point. And that conversation will be what's going on at any given moment. So this morning I posted, which I thought was a beautiful story out of either Seeing the Invisible or Diary of an Accidental Psychic. I can't remember which book it was in, but it was a story with regards to MOLDAVITE. And I thought it was a lovely story. But at the beginning of the story, it mentioned my trip to, I think it was Salou. It was just about an hour or two train ride where I cried basically all the way because of the MOLDAVITE. And I said I was going to heal some dolphins. Now, that in itself is absurd if somebody was just to say that. And to see a photo, which I thought, okay, I'll get the image of the dolphin. Don't know why, but I do now because this is why this conversation has begun. And it all makes sense afterwards. So I uploaded, instead of a MOLDAVITE, which obviously would have been a much better idea, but in my head, I don't think, I just do. So I had about 9 messages, inbox messages, and a few people who were brave enough to say, you know, the story's beautiful, but I can't stand the fact that he's there with dolphins in a sanctuary where the dolphins should be free. And I tried and answer a few people saying, well, there's a backstory to that, but it's so evident now that the world, not only the world, but the spiritual community in itself and those who claim to be on a spiritual path are the ones that actually sent the messages, which fascinates me. So you can see actually the spiritual community is more judgmental than any other community in the world. So I've just uploaded the backstory just now about the dolphins, and I'm going to share that story with you now. So life always takes us to certain places where we're challenged, because the whole point about life is challenges, tests, experiences. That's what it's about. And your choices that you make. Now, there is a belief system, whether this is an old belief system of ancient times of understandings, or whether it's the new age belief, I don't know. But when I heard it, it got me upset to begin with. And it was, there's no such thing as doing everything wrong. There's no such thing as doing everything right. Everything is as it should be. There is no wrong, there is no right. And then when I first started this field of work, I'm like, well, if I take a hammer and smash somebody over the head with it, you're telling me that's not wrong, and it's not wrong, but it's not right. So you see, there is this initial knee-jerk reaction, this initial judgment towards everything. And of course there's wrong and there's right, there's good and there's bad, there's light and the dark. But when you start walking a spiritual path, you start to look into the bubble from a distance, and you start to see beyond the initial knee-jerk reaction. And it's funny how the spiritual community believe that they are spiritual, but they're actually not at all spiritual. Most of them have no idea of the concept of spirituality. They have no idea of balance. In fact, they are saying they're spiritual. They are saying they're of the light. They're saying they are love. But actually, your actions speak far louder. So there are moments in life where you have to make a decision in your own heart, what is right and what's wrong. So basically, what feels the greater good. So I was working in Barcelona, and I had a fabulous week of readings and healings. It was incredible. From that week, I created 3 stories that went into seeing the invisible. And we were blown away totally. And I was working alongside 2 very prestigious psychologists who were very famous in Barcelona for many years. So they invited me to help with their clients that they were stuck with. And this happened a lot of the time everywhere I went. And this was in Italy. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out, where was I at the time? Oh no, that's why. I've just posted a story about Italy and the little boy who hit himself, wanted to kill himself with a hammer. No, so in Barcelona, my 2 beautiful friends, that I changed the name, of course, because sometimes it's better just not having names on there for one reason or another. So anyway, I'd done that, and then I had a phone call from a beautiful lady who, coincidentally, thereafter, from this job, she went to travel around the world, being ahead of the Dalai Lama with his spiritual bones and what have you of the first Dalai Lama. And apparently every time the Dalai Lama goes somewhere, all of these ancient talismans goes before him. And that's what her work was then. But prior to that, her work was working in a dolphin playground, basically, for humans to enjoy. So she basically rung me and said, look, Mark, there's a situation here at the sanctuary. And I'm saying, right. And obviously, first of all, I'm just listening. She said, the dolphins that are in the sanctuary are becoming extremely sick. They've been poisoned with one of the machines that generates the water to be, I don't know, cleansed, cleaned, I don't know, but something broke and leaked into where they were. And they were all very poorly. They had bad chests and one thing. This is what she told me, and I went, right. And she said, we're really concerned. Would you please come and see if you can help in any way and maybe give healing? So you imagine you've been put into a situation where somebody calls you up. You now know that there are dolphins that should be in the sea and have been captured for the pleasure of people. So that, first of all, is heartbreaking, okay? It makes you feel sick, okay? But secondly, the dolphins are not well and they're going to die, or they could die. So you've been asked to go and, if there's anything you can do. So there's a double-edged sword there straight away, isn't there? Because half of you will be thinking, oh, well, you know, maybe you should go and help them. And the other half is going to be saying, well, maybe it's better if they do die. They don't have to put up with this shit and so on. There's a double-edged sword with this as well. Me trying to free them and then they go into the sea. They wouldn't know how to live. They'd be dead in a short while. So all these things are in my mind, and the only thing I could think is, like, you know, I don't heal dolphins. I heal people and animals, but I wouldn't know how to heal a dolphin. Please come. But please come. Maybe there's something you can do. There's a backstory to this anyway, about 1,000 little tiny sphere crystals, which were clear quartz, that were given to me, that accompanied me along this journey. You know, everybody here probably already knows there's no such thing as coincidence. But anyway, point being, I had no idea what I was getting myself in for. And when I got there, I was sick. I felt sick. But the girl was beautiful. And I said to her, how do you manage to work here? It's the first thing I said. I said, doesn't it rip you in two in your heart? And she said, Mark, you know, that was the first thing I thought. But she said, if these dolphins are in this captivity and nobody gives a shit about them, I'm here to give my love to these dolphins. They are like my family. They're like my brothers and sisters. And I'm going to give them as much love as I can. And I'm going to help them. And I kind of understood that. Like, I got that. At least there's an angel by their side. So, all things said, I did my work, and I did. Please read the story. And I came away from there with a heavy heart, knowing that these dolphins would have to live in this prison for the rest of their life. And I didn't feel any love in the sense of, did I gain anything from it other than the pain and the fact that I did my best to try and help. And that was it, really. But I wanted to write that story because it was a true story, and it was something that I did. And it's probably the most judged story that I've ever told. It's the one which has caused more sparks and more anger from the spiritual community. These godlike people, these superhuman beings, spiritual people. And this is why when anybody says they're spiritual, I morph myself. I turn myself into a greyhound and run the opposite way, because I know when I'm in the company of so-called spiritual people, they are the worst of the worst that I've ever had to deal with in my life. And I've dealt with a lot of people in my life, a lot of different people. And the spiritual community are so lost and so horrible and so dark that I don't want to be in the world of those so-called spiritual people. And I often say this, why would you call yourself spiritual if you are? You don't need to call yourself that unless you're not and you're trying to compensate. And surely enough, the judgment from the spiritual community, well, need I say any more? It's sickening. It's horrible. So that was the backstory of the dolphin story, which has caused so much controversy in so many people's minds. But I would say, you know, what would you do? What would you do if you're a healer and somebody rung you up and said, you know, I know what you're going to think. I know it's in a theme park, but they need help. What would you do? So, for those who are so quick to judge, I hope there's a lesson in this, but I don't think so, because I've noticed that the spiritual community have this, it's almost like a resilient, I'm never wrong, and you are wrong. And I've never seen anything like it. As of late, it's become so awful that I distance myself from any spiritual community. I distance myself from anybody who claims to be spiritual. Mediums, psychics, healers. I keep away because their judgment these days are so toxic that I almost feel like they've been sabotaged, that there's something has happened, that they are the ones now that are leading the way in darkness. That's how bad it's become. And that's why I spend so much time on my own. And also I keep my friends so close and try not to push the boat too far out with other people. Sometimes I do take a leap of faith and say, stop, believe in this person, and then sure enough, within a week or two, there's a nasty attack of medium so-and-so, or psychic so-and-so, or spiritual or awakened so-and-so. It's like, oh my God, you are poisonous. And they just don't see it. It's awful. It's become so awful that it seems that spirituality has become darkness. It really does. But yeah, I was going to share today, that the world is a madhouse. It's a madhouse. It's an absolute madhouse. And I posted something on Instagram, and it's of two photos. The first photo is a woman on the floor being dragged by a man. And the second photo is the woman at the top of a mountain smiling with a beautiful view. And basically it says what she truly went through, and this is what she posted on Instagram. And I guess what the point of that is that nobody is truthful anymore. It's all false. It's all lies. It's all manipulations on the black screen. And I don't think it's anybody else. I don't think it's people's fault. I think the black screen is now changing people to be something that they're not. It's taking away their honesty. They are now just becoming an illusion. They're now like all the tax collectors in the Jesus story when he's throwing the table over. They're all sold their souls for a better image, or for look at who I am, look at me being perfect. And we can see now clearly the influence of the dark screen is making everybody a liar, is making everybody fake. And shame on you if you are one of those people. Shame on you. You need a slap. We all need a slap, all of us. Wake up. Stop lying. Stop pretending, because you're just making the world a worse place by your image. You know? Be honest, be truthful. But nobody wants to hear that. None of us want to listen to that within. We just want to show everybody how amazing we are and how powerful we are. No, we're not amazing. We're not powerful. We're just doing our best in this world. Authenticity is a word that's just disappearing. Originality is disappearing. Everybody's just trying to outdo everybody else with images and how amazing they are and how beautiful they are, and look what I've done, and look at where I am, and look at what I've just bought. Yeah, whatever, mate. Good luck to you. Good luck to that illusion, delusion. You're never going to meet anybody. You're never going to love the right person. The right person's never going to love you. Honesty is where you begin. Truthfulness, you know, how you look, how you behave, your true personality. Stop with your fakery. Be truthful. Because truthful, then somebody will say, well, you know, I love that person for their truth. And then when you connect to each other, that person is with you because they liked you for who you are, not for your filters, not for your bullshit stories, They like you for who you are, not for your pretending to be having a six-pack. I've said this before. If you spend your time at a gym pumping weight and you've got a six-pack and you're posting that out and somebody falls in love with you, what happens when you lose your six-pack? They're going to be looking for somebody else with a six-pack. Be authentic. Don't be frightened of who you are, because you're special. You're amazing. Don't fall into the trap of darkness pulling you in there with the lies and deceit, because it reminds me of a ritual of everybody having sex with everybody. You're all just an illusion. Stop with it. Be authentic. Be yourself. Stand up. Be truthful. And all the gaslighting of people pretending to be a guru and how perfect they are, and then at the same time they walk into their house and eat shit and do stupid things. Give me a break. Some can see straight through it. Anyway, sorry guys, but fakery is the number one reason why we are where we are. And it's getting worse day by day. But I am wishing you all a lovely day in this windy day. These two old ladies sat together. You remember them? Oh, isn't it windy? Eh? Wednesday? No, it's not. Oh, no, yeah. Is it Wednesday? No, is it windy? I don't know. No, it's Thursday. Oh, it's Thursday. Oh, yeah, it's a good idea. Let's have a cup of tea. She's fallen asleep now because of my jokes. Don't fall asleep. Listen to my jokes. They're funny. Yes. Did you hear the one about the dog walking along with his owner? He sees another dog up against a wall like this, having a wee-wee. The owner said to the other owner, oh, I've never seen a dog have a wee up against the wall with his two paws against the wall like that before. The owner said, yeah, he's only started doing it since a wall fell on him. Oh, it is a terrible joke. It's a terrible joke. Yeah. Okay, well, I better feed the chickens. I better clean the chickens out. Story of my life. Here, look at these beautiful. Look at these now. Aren't they gorgeous? Oh, look at them. Beautiful. They smell gorgeous. You stole my seat. Well, I hope you're all doing fine. I'm wishing you all a lovely day. God, sometimes I just go on, don't I? Just talk about crap and just say negative things, but it pisses me off sometimes when people send me such awful messages about how bad I am being with dolphins. I'm like, Jesus. These are people who are supposed to have known me for 2 or 3 years. You don't know me at all, as he pulls his socks up. Sending you much love too. Not like you not to bark, Lily. Lily? Lily? She's asleep. All right, guys. Anything to say? I was thinking about. Oh yeah, I said I'm doing an interview on Monday with Grant Foster, not Foster Grant, Grant Foster. That's going to be really interesting. Please listen out for that one. And then somebody's asked me to do an interview with them on Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm just working on crystals, signing some books. I worked on 300. I know I shouldn't have done. I was going to have a rest last night, but then I couldn't. I just started working on 300 packs of cleansing negative energy sticks, so they're ready to go on the website. Anything else? I have got about another 25 sug lights that are going on markbajerski.com soon. Something really interesting. I listened to somebody. They said, "Could we have some? Can we have some of? Could we have some of these? If anybody knows what these are, like these, but smaller ones." And I went, "Well, they'll cost us much money. It won't be any different in price. Doesn't matter." Somebody said, "I want some," so I made some. I had some made, so they'll be coming Monday, Tuesday. So I'm going to look forward to that. Imagine that. So there's only a few, but we'll see if they sell, because they're only small. Obviously, they're small, but they cost us much money to make and much money to buy. So, imagine that. Moldavite Trio earrings. I'm quite excited to see them. And they're all signed MB. Anything else? No, I think that's it, really. That's it. Wishing you all a lovely day, then. Anything you want to say? Hey, guys, I don't mind you disagreeing with me. I don't mind. Some people, I like conversation. I like to, yeah. I think what we should do is maybe tonight at about 8 o'clock tonight, Spain time, I'm going to do a live on a discussion about things that we agree and disagree with. And let's have a debate on spirituality and all the things that you disagree with me about, and your own take on it. And let's talk about these things, and let's see what real debate is. Let's see what real spirituality is. Okay? So I might see you tonight at 8 o'clock live on YouTube, called The Spiritual Debate. How about that? Anybody up for it? What do you think? Is it worth it? What do you think? Yes or no? If it's like, what's the point? Or, yeah, we should debate. You know? I often use this story, right? And it was my favorite story because it was the most powerful story. And I used to travel quite a lot, giving talks. And there were talks which were like of private talks mainly. And a woman or a man and a woman would give me a call and say, "We'd like you to give a talk for this ladies group, or for this group or that group." And I'd say, yeah, sure. And I remember being at one place, and I started talking about spiritual and like healing. Started talking about healing practice and healing modality and what I believed that healing was doing. And I remember this one lady was looking really angry, really pissed off. And I kept looking at her, and she was dying to say something. And I said, "Okay, questions, anybody?" And she put her hand up, and I said, "Yes, please." And she started firing a whole heap of questions at me. Everybody else was looking at her as if to say, "What's she doing here? This is what she's saying is awful." And every question that she fired at me, I gave her an answer back, and I'd have an answer to it. And I'd be like, I actually really enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed her questions. Anyway, it became about an hour, and I say, "We'll take a break now, guys. We'll have a break, have a drink, and then we'll come back in half an hour." So the two ladies that arranged this talk came up to me and said, "Very sorry about that." And I'm like, "Very sorry about what?" "About that lady." And I looked at them and I said, "You know what?" I said, "That was the most exciting moment for me in years." "What do you mean?" "She was being awful." I said, "No, she wasn't being awful." I said, "In fact, she's so close of being an amazing healer that she's trying everything she can to find a way not to be a healer. She's trying to find a way by coming up with all of these questions because she's frustrated. She's frustrated because deep down she knows what's being said is truth, but she's trying to fight it in herself. And they went, oh, really? I went, yeah. And I'm telling you now, guys, that woman took private lessons with me, and she was royalty. And when she finished those private lessons with me, she became one of the most amazing healers. And she lives in Tenerife now. And yeah, it's just, I'm not frightened of anything because truth stands in its own. And if I don't know something, I say I don't know. And if you've got like something that you want to, like, I remember she sat with Shirley. No, I wasn't. I was sat with my wife. My wife really, then I was married to Susie, she really wanted another child. And we couldn't have a child because after having China, straight after having China, this guy here thought it was a smart move because Susie was very fertile. Like, I don't want any more. I've got Nico, I've got China, no more. So I went and had the snip, right? But just before I had the snip, for some strange reason, I thought I'm going to save some sperm. So I went to a sperm clinic and saved a load of sperm just in case I changed my mind. So we got that sperm, and Susie started the treatment, which was horrific, what they did to her. And just on a side note, guys, if they ever tell you to put the ink inside you so they can take photos of what's going on inside you, for God's sake, guys, don't, for God's sake, stop anybody from using that black ink to shove inside you and put all around your body. It will cause you more health issues for the rest of your life. Trust me, don't do it. So we tried it once, it never worked. And then we were really both frustrated. And I sent a message to Shirley, who was one of my teachers. And I said, I was really frustrated. And I said, are we going to have a chat? Should I do another fertility treatment? And she says, I can't answer that, Mark. And I said, why not? She said, because it's not for me to answer. And I'm like, but you're a seer, you're a psychic, you're a spiritual person. Surely you should be able to help me with this. What's the point otherwise? What's the point in doing what you're doing? I was really angry. Not at her. I was angry at me. I was angry at life. I was angry and frustrated because Susie was upset and frustrated because she wanted another baby. Did I want another baby? Truthfully, no, I didn't. But if she wanted one, I'd support her. So we didn't end up having one because it wasn't meant to be. And Shirley already knew this, but she didn't want to say anything. She didn't want to hurt us, right? Which was beautiful of Shirley. And we needed to figure this out for ourselves. So point in fact is that life isn't that simple. And it isn't all about tell me what's right and what's wrong. Tell me what I should do. Tell me if this is going to happen. This is all selfishness within the humanity. We want a quick fix. We want a takeaway, spiritual message quickly, and then we're away. And that isn't what life is. Stop skipping past what our life purpose is and going to psychics and wanting to know who the perfect person is and who I should be with, and should I be with this person and that person? Should I do this? Shouldn't I do that? You know? Anyway, you can ask anything you want tonight if you fancy coming. I don't even know what time it is now. It's 2 o'clock here. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6 hours from now, we're going to do a live if you want to come. Is that a yes? A no? Maybe? Want to debate? I got a yes here. Okay. Anyway, that's my conversation today. I'm wishing you all a lovely day. I'm feeling great, feeling healthy, feeling happy, eating healthy, eating the best I can. Lily's happy, and going to do some gardening now, clean out the chickens. I've already said that. And I'll see you tonight at 8 o'clock. Let's do this. Be there or be square. See you all, guys. It is a wonderful world. It is. Okay, I'm going. Hasta la vista. Hasta mañana. Ciao, ciao. Bye. See you tonight, 8 o'clock.